How is it going, everybody? Today, I'm very excited to announce my guest. He's a former Georgia Tech quarterback, a native of Columbus, Georgia, and a member of the Spring League's Blues in 2020. TaQuon Marshall, how we doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to be on here. I'm glad you're having me on such short notice.
Yes, sir. I'm very happy to have you on as well. But first and foremost, I'm a fellow Georgia boy. So I grew up in Albany, Georgia. So we got to represent that hometown and home state a little
Oh
bit. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about Columbus, Georgia. What makes it so special?
Well, I'm right outside of Columbus in Catala and right in Harris County, but I mean, I love it here. It's I get country vibes here. It's really peaceful, really quiet. Everyone knows everyone, so I grew up with a very close knit group of friends. I still communicate with a lot of them to this day. Uh, I mean, I just it was always fun as a getaway to come back here when I was in college. If I wanted to get out of the city for a little bit and just come spend time with my family, see some friends, it was always good to be able to just drive about an hour and a half to get home. So yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do. If you like the country, then you'll enjoy fishing, riding four wheelers, dirt bikes, getting out on the lake. Some things you can't really do while you're in the middle of the city. So that's always a perk of being in the country. So I love it.
Yeah, sir. For real, for real. Georgia hits different, bro, for sure. So
Oh yeah.
we got to know about that recruiting process out of high school. What was that like? Kind of just tell us about it and then how you ended up at Georgia Tech.
It was frustrating in the beginning, being a freshman and sophomore, really more of a sophomore. Freshman year, of course, one of my good friends, Jordan Jenkins, who a lot of people from this area know, he was highly recruited. So I got to see kind of what the recruiting trail was like and see how recruiting was more of a business. When I was a freshman, I got to go to a lot of schools. Almost every school he went to visit, me and my family were with him. So our families are really close. Um, but just kind of seeing how everything went there, it made me enjoy the game that much more because I wanted to be able to do those same things when it was my time. And then my sophomore year, I played some receiver and I had some catches, some touchdowns. I did some good things, but my recruiting wasn't as jumping as I would have wanted it to be my sophomore year. So it was just that part of it was kind of frustrating because I felt like I had the talent to play at the next level, but I wasn't really getting some of the offers that some of the guys in this area were getting that I felt like I also deserved. But then my junior year kind of popped up on the scene, balled out junior year. We had a pretty good run and we lost in the second round, but we had a pretty good run that year. We did some special things, and then I played in a Rising Seniors games that one of my good friends, Joe Burns, who also went to Tech, he played running back at Tech. He puts on every year. Obviously, they didn't have it this year because of COVID, but he puts it on every year for the top juniors in Georgia. And I got an opportunity to go play in it and really balled out in practice. The coaches really liked me. Did some good things in the game. And next thing you know, in that December, I got my first offer from Duke. And then after that, everything it was like a snowball effect. Like they were coming in like Halloween candy. Like it left before you know it, by the end of the week, I probably had like 7 more schools that had already offered me.
That's the way it always works, my man. Once you
So
get that first.
So that process of it was fun. Like it was really exciting knowing that I was just a junior getting the attention from these schools that I felt like I deserved and that I felt like I had worked hard enough to get. It was really exciting. And then the stressful part starts to come on when you get a lot of schools that are, pulling you left and right and they want you because of this reason and that reason. And you just, at a young age, you don't really know. You're just excited because these schools want you and you're going to have an opportunity to play football at the next level, which is a lot of kids' dreams. But then you have to really weigh in some of the different aspects of the schools. Okay, what kind of offense they run? How can they help me get to the next level if that's what I want to do? Do they have the major that I want to major in? How are they going to help me academically? How are they going to help me grow as a young man? Are the coaches, now you can't always look at the coaches because coaches change, but obviously you want to know that staff that's there, if they're looking out for your best interest, for sure. So those are the kind of things that I was weighing in. And of course, my parents at a certain time, they definitely had a big role in helping me decide on certain schools. But at the end of the day, it was ultimately left up to me. My parents wanted me to go to where I was going to be happy. And my mom told me to look at it as if I wasn't going to school to play football, where I'd be happy because, at any given point, football can be taken away and I could end up just being there as a student. So that was one of the biggest things that, I looked at when it was coming to choosing school. And for me, after my junior year, and I kind of, all the offers started to really slow down. And I was able to narrow down going into my senior year which schools that I wanted to consider. And I was taking visits to all these schools to just kind of get my last glimpse and my last little knowledge about each school before I made my decision, because going into my senior year, I wanted my senior year to be focused on my senior year. I didn't want any other outside things to stop me from the goals that I had planned for my senior year. So I took my last couple of visits, and then no one really knows this, but one of the schools kind of did me dirty. And that kind of led me to making my decision to go to Georgia Tech. So that's what I decided. Now, going into Tech, I was going in as an athlete. So I couldn't have told you that in my junior year that I'd be starting against Tennessee. So that's kind of how the recruiting trail went for me. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I went to a lot of schools. Enjoyed the good food, enjoyed the good game atmospheres. I mean, it's something that if I could do it again, I'd definitely do it again.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, that's a journey, my man. It's always the same thing. Once you get that first big D1 offer, the rest of them start coming. They're like, damn, I better shoot mine out there real quick too.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah, for sure. So in 2017, like you just mentioned, you were named the starting quarterback for Georgia Tech, shattering records just right off the bat, bro. Just your first game, you started rewriting the record book, my man. Kind of what was that feeling like? As you mentioned, you were an athlete the couple years prior. You went out there, you got some snaps and all that good stuff. But what was it like? Like you're the man of this team now. So kind of just take us into what that experience was like.
Man, I grind so hard that offseason. Going into my junior year, the starting position was up in the air, but like that's probably the hardest I've grinded. Now I've grinded pretty hard, but that was one of them things where it's like Mercedes-Benz versus Tennessee was like at the top of the pyramid, and I was doing everything I could do to make sure that I was going to be that guy when we went to Mercedes-Benz. And man, I had a decent spring, but I had a great fall camp. Like my fall camp was phenomenal. And then about maybe a week and a half before opener, we're about to finish up with camp. My position coach came to me and told me I was going to be the starting guy. Called my parents immediately. And it was just so exciting just to know that all the hard work I had put in was finally paying off. And then, to go into that Tennessee game and just like, I couldn't even tell you, for me, it was just me playing ball, like doing something that I really enjoyed. And at the end of the game, that's when I found out about all the stats. I had no idea I had that many carries. It didn't feel like it. I had no idea that many yards, that many touchdowns. Like, to me, I was just out there having fun, balling, trying to do whatever it took to get the W. So it was kind of crazy at the end of the game when they started reading me off the stats. It was like, yeah, you broke this record, you broke this record. I'm like, well, dang. And in the moment, of course, we had lost. So, to me, I was like, well, all that's great, but we didn't win. So, right now I'm not really focused on all the records that are being broke. I was just saying, like, I was going to watch the film, see what we could do better, and then try to progress from there. But looking back at it, it's just really crazy. A lot of people to this day still hit me up saying, man, we were super proud of you for that game. Matter of fact, I had a fan hit me up the other day, and he was just telling me how awesome it was being able to watch me against Tennessee and the performance I had. So I think that's one of the memories that everyone will have, and one of the games that everyone will remember, that will go down in the books.
Yeah, for sure. So, following your career at Georgia Tech, you switched up to the wide receiver position. Kind of what led to that decision, and how difficult of a transition was it?
I wanted to be more versatile. I knew if I played quarterback, then it was just quarterback. And now my whole life, of course, I had played quarterback basically my whole life, but I've also, in high school, while playing quarterback, called punts, did kickoff returns, played defense. When I first got to college, I was catching punts, catching kickoffs, playing special teams. So that was really the thing that weighed in the most. And I didn't want to limit myself to just one position. And I felt like who wants someone, does a team want someone who can just play, running back, or do they want someone who can play running back? They can put them out at receiver, also catch punts and kicks. So that's kind of the way I looked at it. And that's what made me make that decision, because I was like, well, I've always been kind of athletic. So why not go back to receiver and see, where I land. So that was the decision that I made. And the transition it wasn't the easiest, especially coming off some injuries my senior year. But I have a great receiver trainer, Route King. Shout out to him. And if you ask him to this day, he'll tell you, man, from the time that he started working on me to where I'm at now, it's an incredible jump. I mean, I've learned so much. I learned so much about receiver within a year that I now use in my game. And now that I teach younger guys that are playing the position and ask me, that they can, add to their game, it's incredible, all the stuff that I was missing out on. And it's crazy because a lot of kids, even in college, they don't even have some of the information until they get out of college and actually start working with someone who knows a little bit more about the game. But the transition, it was kind of tough in the beginning, but now, I mean, I'm loving it.
Yeah, for sure. So you landed some mini camp invitations from the Ravens and Falcons following the draft and all of that stuff. So kind of what was that experience like, and what did you kind of learn during your time with them?
I really learned that after college, it's strictly business. Like, of course, everyone loves the game, but it's more on the business aspect than it is, playing ball. And which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's kind of the same way in college. It's a business, but yeah, it's you're a pro. Like that is your job. Your job is to, go to work, learn your playbook, take care of your body, eat the right things. So that's kind of what I got out of it. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm still pursuing ball, so hopefully I'll be back soon.
Yeah, for sure. Who's the best athlete? And you could take this back to high school, little gritters, it don't matter. Who's the best athlete you've ever played with and against? I know, it's tough. You can throw out a couple names.
And I'd have to say against, man, Deshaun Watson. He was just a different breed. Just watching him operate in high school, it was crazy. And then just even playing against him in college, I mean, some of the stuff he was doing and the way he was operating I didn't notice it then, but then when I saw him in college, I'm like, yeah, this guy's different. Let's see. I mean, of course, there's some other couple guys that I've played against that are that were some dogs that just and playing with. I don't know. I played with a lot of people with some good talent. I had some guys at Tech that were some guys that could ball. Of course, my boy Tay, he could ball. He made the transition from running back to linebacker. He's balling now. I mean, I can't name specifically, but I have played with a lot of guys that can really ball.
For sure. So you played both the quarterback and the wide receiver position. So this is why I got to ask this question. In your honest opinion, Who is the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the NFL right now?
Ooh, best duo?
Yeah.
Man, I think it might have to be Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
I was gonna say the same thing.
They're pretty cold. Yeah, they got to be at the top, and then I would probably go. It's tough after that because it could be a toss up. It could be Allen and Diggs. It could be Russ and DK. But at the top of the pyramid, I'm gonna definitely go A-Rod and Devontae.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking the same thing. So you recently announced that you created like a 7-on-7 football team. Kind of what led into that decision, and tell us about it and how people who are interested can sign up.
So basically, I don't know. I think I was sitting in my room one day and I was scrolling on Instagram and I was seeing how Cam and all them they're having their tryouts, and my receiver coach, his son is on a 7-on-7 team, and I was like, we don't have anything like that around here, not that I know of at least. And I'm like, my name still holds a little weight here. I'm like, it'd be pretty dope to be able to start something that can grow into something big and give kids the opportunity to expose themselves to better competition, expose themselves to more recruiting, to your 247s, your rivals, your ESPN, because when you win and when you play against other good teams or you ball against other good teams, whether that's a win or a loss, you get recognized and you get on the recruiting trail. And also, I also look at it more like a mentorship. I feel like me being a coach or me helping younger guys, I can be more of a mentor to them as well and be able to relate to them as more because I'm closer to their age and I've been through the things they've been through. Not saying that older coaches and some of the coaches that coach G7-on-7 teams can't relate, but I feel like when a player is closer to age to the person who's coaching them, they like to listen a little bit more. Like how it is. Like you'll listen to someone who's not your parents. You're more likely to listen to them than you are to listen to your parents, and they could be telling you the same thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it could be like that sometimes. So that's kind of the way I was looking at it, and then I literally just started brainstorming ideas, and I put everything together probably in a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Just getting, my logo, figuring out where I'm going to do the tryouts, who I'm going to have for the tryouts, how soon I want to get in a tournament, what the uniforms are going to look like, how I want the uniforms to look, with the color scheme, like all this stuff. So that's just kind of the thought process I have for it. And what I was looking to do is just really help the community. I don't want any financial gain from it. Everything that, like, I put up a GoFundMe, all those donations go back into, this team, because next year I want it to be bigger. I want it to be better. I want to reach more age groups, because right now, obviously, I'm only doing 18U, which is high school, like basically all of the high schoolers. And next year I'm wanting to do a division for each 18U, 17U, 16U, and 15U, have 4 different teams, and make it bigger and better. So that's kind of the idea that I was going for, just to help kids out in this younger generation. Because when I was coming out of high school, I don't think 7-on-7 was as prevalent as it is right now. I mean, it's pretty much the thing that when you're not in season, it's pretty much the thing you do.
Yeah.
During the spring season and early summer. So
yeah, the 7-on-sevens have definitely taken a rise these past couple of years for sure. And a lot of people are just dead ass just being recruited just because of how they perform.
I was about to say,
7-on-7.
I saw last year this guy, and don't get me wrong, I've seen him train and he's pretty good, but I literally saw him last year make this one-handed catch In the 7-on-7 tournament, he made 2 of them. Literally the next day, he had like 5 offers.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit's for real, man. It's crazy. And it's like social media obviously is helping with it too. It's just a lot
Yeah.
more ways to get your content out there, get your plays out there. So this is the time to be doing things like this too. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
definitely dope that you're out here trying to help out your community. So with that being said, kind of what's next for you in terms of ball, in terms of coaching, what's next for you, my man? So we can all stay tuned.
So I'm still pursuing ball. I got a couple things lined up coming up. Just gonna see how things go. Obviously, this is something that I'm doing as well. The 7-on-17. I do see myself coaching when ball is over. So this is gonna kind of help with that. But I'm still playing ball. It's still at the top of the list. Um,
Good.
so I'm still training, doing everything I need to do to be ready when my call comes. So
And it
that's
will, my
that's what
man.
you had to
There's
that's
all
what you
these
had to look for.
Yeah, bro. There's all these leagues out here now too. We got the fan control
Yeah.
football league. We got the XFL coming back. We got the spring league. All of that good stuff, my man. One last question for you. What kind of advice can you give to the young athletes out there chasing their ball dreams?
Work hard. But I think the most important thing is to make sure you're having fun, because at some point, the not necessarily saying you will take the fun out of the game, but there's going to be some some aspect of the fun taken out of the game just because of the business aspect of it. So I wish I would have enjoyed the funness of the game a little bit more as at a younger age. Um, Besides that, I mean, just work hard, keep your grades up. Those are the most important things. If you don't have good grades, a lot of things won't be able to go your way.
Yeah.
So stay in the books, stay positive, work hard at all times. There's always someone out there working, um, and just have fun. Have fun with it.
Yeah, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, TaQuon Marshall. I'll be linking all of his social medias and everything down below in the bio. Make sure you guys check my boy out. I appreciate you for hopping on the show, my man.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.